taking an enlightened view here, Ms. Chaturvedi. But I just want to ask you because, there has been a back and forth going on between the opposition and Mr. Dhankhar. There was a failed attempt at impeaching him that sort of broke his heart, at least that's what he said in public. So it's very nice to hear from you that you would actually want him to continue. Do you think that relationship was far too broken?
No, despite that heartbreak that he went through of the no confidence motion that came from the opposition, where we were not have a voice, and it came as part of the parliamentary procedure. The parliamentary process does not in any way undermine a person's position. We express our no confidence on a certain situation and situations that were prevailing then. But at no point in time did we want him to step down suddenly the way he has stepped down. So I'm hoping he's absolutely fine. I'm hoping his health keeps him well. But at the same time, I also feel that he relooks at the sudden resignation that has come about.
Okay, Ms. Chaturvedi, thank you very much for joining us. Of course, political reactions as of now guarded, as is now, because we don't have the full facts before us, viewers. We've only got a statement to go by. Dr. Ranganathan is here with us. I'll also want to get a quick comment on that first initial reaction from the opposition, from both Payal, Aman, and of course Pallavi, who's here with us. Dr. Ranganathan, we're talking about an individual who had run-ins with the opposition. I came to you a little earlier and I asked you whether that might have played on his mind. This had gone beyond what one would basically simply categorize as the hurly-burly of politics. This was a divorce that had taken place, complete lack of trust in the person's personage as far as the opposition is concerned. And do you think that could be some sort of a pressure point? I'm just saying the government might want somebody who's, I don't know, more amenable?
I doubt that. That's my personal opinion. I think we're really living in an age where acrimony is the name of the game, to be honest. Ever since 2014, we've seen that. And I think the importance of Mr. Dhankar was all the more vital for the government because he was a man who had been or fought elections representing almost all the major parties. I mean, he was in Janata Dal famously with VP Singh ji and Chandrasekhar ji. Then he was with the Congress. He fought on a Congress ticket. Then he switched to BJP. And then he had a governorship role. So he was vastly experienced in dealing with acrimony that comes across as normal between political parties. So I don't think that could be the reason. I think his, as he complained of chest pain and, something back in March, that possibly, and I think the government did not expand on what exactly was the ailment, but I wish him all the very best. I know how, what that pain is, so I really am hoping for all the best for him. Yeah.
Well, let's go across to Kalyan Banerjee, Member of Parliament from the TMC that had an unfortunate run-in with Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar a few sessions of Parliament back. Mr. Banerjee, thank you very much for speaking to us. Your first thoughts on this surprise move by Mr. Dhankhar to step down?
No, I have heard this news.
Yes.
And I have also seen the copy of the resignation letter. I take these things on its face value that he is unwell. And it is correct that he was also admitted into the hospital for long times. He was there. Immediately after earlier session, he was possibly admitted into the hospital for a long time. I take it as its face value, and I will only pray before the God that whether he remains as the Honorable Vice President or not, he should remain well, physically should remain well. That is the only prayer of mine before the God.
Mr. Banerjee, you had, of course, an unsavory incident where you imitated him. Some people said mocked him, etc., etc. How do you look back on that incident today?
In the politics, everything is okay. There's nothing wrong. Thereafter, he called me also. I had a talk with him also long time. He also, on my birthday, he also blessed me. I had no personal anything against him. All the time I have respected him. But in politics, everything is done. Everything is gone. That is, there is no difficulty. But today he is unwell. He has said he is unwell, and I am accepting that he is unwell. I don't think that he can say any incorrect statement he cannot make, because we are colleagues in the profession. He is senior in my profession. I have great respect for him. I know him. Leave aside politics, I have respect for him.
Now, you mentioned
Therefore,
a conversation between you and him after that unsavory incident. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? What exactly happened? Who called the phone? Who called whom?
who called whom?
Did you call him or did he call you? How did that
No, he
conversation?
called me on 4th January, immediately on the next year,
Right.
on my birthday. And he for that time I had a talk for long. He also said that whenever your will come, you come to my residence. I said, yes, sir, of course. We are having a long relationship, not today's relationship. Long relationship. We are in the profession, legal profession for long.
Was you disappointed, Mr. Banerjee, when you mocked him or tried to copy him?
Listen, I don't know whether he has also said it chalta hai politics mein. Chalta hai.
The reason
And
I'm
he
asking
has
you is
taken-
because, he was under a lot of pressure and sometimes this kind of unsavory combativeness can put pressure on people's health also. So, could that have been a factor? Yes.
If you hold a high post, you always have a high
Right.
tremendous pressure. If you do not hold high post, there will not be high pressure.
Right. So you're saying
depends on the
that
post
is
you are
unlikely to have been a factor.
Listen, a post of the chairman or a post of the speaker is always they face odd situation. That one has to accept that.
But there was an
That is a
unprecedented
part of-
attempt to
that is a part
impeach
of a
him.
politics. That is a part of a politics.
Yeah. But do you think politics from the opposition side crossed a Rubicon when they also went to impeach him? That hurt him a lot. It broke his heart, he said.
Which one? I could not follow you.
The attempt to impeach him, if you remember. That motion that was brought to impeach
that
him.
is also part of politics. He knew that.
Okay.
And that the impeachment notice will not be passed, that also he knew. He also knew that. That will not touch his... But I just tell you one thing.
Yes,
I am taking his resignation as correct.
As face value.
That's all. There should not be any debate on that.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Banerjee, for speaking to us. Mr. Banerjee, of recounting the incident that played out so publicly, viewers, in January, when Kalyan Banerjee on the steps of the Dwar into Parliament mocked Vice President, and that led to a massive, massive political controversy. The Vice President was heartbroken. He came out and he made some statement saying that I'm a senior. And of course, those issues were subsequently resolved and papered over. Health being cited as the reason for this dramatic development, viewers. The Vice President issued a statement saying that he's following health advice that has been given to him by his doctors. He's abiding by that medical advice and he's decided to step down. All of this, of course, comes in a very busy time of his career. Let me just bring in Smita Prakash, senior journalist. We also have with us our reporters and our senior editors who are lending their voice to this coverage. So, Smita Prakash, thank you very much. You've, of course, met Mr. Dhankhar, interviewed him, came across a forthright man, spoke his mind, had no compunctions about entering into areas where ordinarily a lot of people would be reluctant to tread. But he did so. He talked about the opposition not quite playing a constructive role, talking about the opposition going too far and trying to have inserted the word secular and then opposing its removal, etc., etc. He's talked about judicial impropriety, which is really a touch-me-not in political discourse in this country. How do you view, A, this situation that has emerged, and B, what do you think has led to it? Do you think it's only purely a health issue?
Surprising thing that happened just now, his resignation. It's taken us all, I think, by surprise. And I would still go with it being, a health issue that would have prompted him. Look, I agree with you what you said, that he's very emotional. He's he's sentimental even, and given to bursts of emotions at times. But he is a seasoned politician. He's a member of the Indian judiciary. He's led a very, very impeccable public life. He has met with people who are disagreeable and who have disagreed with him. But he has a way of, in relationships, even if he did not have just a couple of months back, about a couple of months back, he invited some of the leading journalists for lunch. We sat with him for nearly 2 hours, and he wouldn't stop chatting with us. He would talk all kinds of incidents he had dealing with politicians, the difficult nature of the job, and after that, and even before that, called us for breakfast. A couple of us individually and in a group. We discussed the state of the media, the state of politics, Parliament, us covering the Parliament, what are the problems that journalists face, what are the plus points in the new building. He discussed so many things. And of course, he has a very warm and affectionate family. So I don't think that he did not have, the checks and balances that a person in public life sometimes they lack that, and because of that, it results in these spontaneous or sudden decisions which could be viewed as hurt and anger. No, Mr. Dhankar has the support base and has the political maturity to not take such decisions. I would still go with it that it could be health reasons and maybe on doctor's advice not to be in a high pressure position that he is in currently.
So you're saying you're ruling out impulsiveness, you're ruling out reflexive reaction to opposition criticism. In fact, a few months ago, there were some articles that also appeared in certain sections of the media calling him an attack dog, a partisan attack dog of the government. So he's been under a lot of pressure, viewers. Stay on with me, Smita Prakash. I just want to quickly bring in Payal very quickly on this. Payal, okay, let me go across to Aman. Aman Sharma, any reaction? And of course, we have very senior journalists with us, Sanjeev Srivastava, also Mr. R. Rajagopalan, people who know government in and out. Pallavi is also there with us. Aman, any reaction coming from the government per se, even the BJP officially? We had Tuhin Sinha for his comment, but it was too early in the moment to have much to say beyond just the perfunctory. So, any
nothing so far officially from the BJP, Rahul, or from any of the senior ministers yet. I think everybody is processing what has happened, and I think I will take you back to earlier this evening, Prime Minister Modi holding this meeting with all his senior ministers, and I think that must have been over this issue because the resignation of the Vice President right in the middle of the monsoon session of Parliament. In fact, the monsoon session of Parliament has just begun today. It's the first day. So obviously it's a matter of, which required immediate discussion and maybe what's the way ahead. Yes, Mr. Harivansh will, fill in the chair for the rest of the monsoon session. But this is a very important session where a discussion on Operation Sindoor is expected next week. The very, very important matter of the impeachment of Justice Verma is expected to come up. So these are very, very important matters, and obviously the government would want the best hands on the deck for these issues come up. So it's, I think, surprising for the government as well. But whatever word I'm picking up from the government, they are saying that whatever Mr. Dhankar has written in the letter, they are going by that. He is having health concerns. This goes back to March, as I was mentioning earlier, when he was admitted to AIMS for 4 days following cardiac related ailment. And maybe though he's very active, I think Rahul is perhaps the only functionary I know who's been holding an event daily. He's speaking almost daily at some event. He was, as I was saying earlier, Ram Madhav's book launch where I met him last time, and he spoke for almost 40 minutes from the stage. So he looks very fit to me, and he's been doing events daily, speaking on a daily occasion at one event or the other. So it's quite surprising, but obviously these health concerns would have been paramount for him. He's 74 years of age, and of course nobody wants to take cardiac related ailments lightly.
True, it
these
must
days.
have been something that got triggered in the last few hours, but you do mention that there was a big meeting. The Prime Minister was also part of it. He met with all his council of ministers. There was this, and of course senior BJP leaders, and maybe there was an inkling. So something has happened in the last 12, 15 hours. Parliament, of course, the monsoon session, very, very critical monsoon session this time, Mr. R. Rajagopalan. Very surprising, the timing of this resignation. Some people are suggesting that the relationship between the opposition and Mr. Dhankhar that had reached a low might have played some part in his decision. Maybe it pressured him too much. He felt stress. He felt that it was a rewardless task. Could it be?
Rahul, this very, very important thing is we have to accept it's a long statement. If it was politics, the politicians write only one line, I resign. But it's a lengthy letter, number one. Number two, as a top functionary, first citizen of India, Madam Draupadi Murmu, President of India, I am very sure Dhankar would have taken Madam Murmu into confidence before writing this letter. Day before, President and Prime Minister had a meeting. Since then, some speculation was on the air, but not about this. No one could predict this. Such a secrecy was maintained at the top level. Second, why should we do it? In the morning also, he was criticizing one MP who signed 2 lines in the letter of impeachment of the judge, connected with, compared with the 50,000 rupees Abhishek Manu Singh seat say Milata like that. But my point is, who is going to be his successor? Mr. Narendra Modi has got a great problem of choosing. And moreover, my understanding after having covered a lot of years in Parliament, Sanjeev Shivaswamy, our job is to speculate and also ensure Narendra Modi converts any crisis into an opportunity. He's a best batsman for that. But Cabinet Committee on Security is the topmost body in the government of India. You have to select one vice president among that 5. Who is the fit person? Is it Rajnath Singh or Madam Nirmala Sitharaman? These are all certain things because Narendra Modi, who is traveling day after tomorrow to UK, and from there he is going to Maldives. He is addressing a meeting in Chennai, coming back after 6 days. So therefore, this will be hogging in his mind. Politically, I would like to say, is it also connected with BJP selection of president and also the vice president? Is there any cabinet reshuffle? These are all certain questions will come out, sir. That is the headache for the government. And opposition is also very, very, nasty with the vice president. They wanted to impeach him. That also would have gone much deeper into his heart because almost all the vice presidents, at least I have seen Sankar Dayal Sharma was irritated by Mr. P. Chidambaram. And similarly, M. Venkaiah Naidu was irritated by the Congress benches. BJP irritated the president, vice president, the chairman of this. Therefore, some irritation point. But his long letter gives an indication that he is not feeling good health. That may be the reason. Even last week he was in Coimbatore. He was in Ooty. He addressed the media. He addressed the person. And Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar, I would like to say something more deep into it. We have to wait and watch for another 2 or 3 days.
Something of speculation here. Mr. R. Rajagopalan, you can't take him lightly, viewers, because he has a ear very firmly to the door of government. Stay on with me. I'm joined by a senior politician, Ashok Chavan Sahab, who is, of course, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Mr. Chavan, this big news has broken. And it's an important development, obviously, at the start of a very crucial and consequential session of Parliament. Your response, sir?
Well, this is rather a surprise to us that our chairman of our house, our Rajya Sabha, has resigned, and we were not in the... It was not in our knowledge that any such thing was about to happen. Such a fine chairman of the Rajya Sabha, relations with all the sections of the House and conducted the House in a very democratic and proper way. And excellent parliamentarian, a person with a lot of experience as a governor, and then earlier in his state also he has performed very well. So it is rather a surprise for us that he has resigned, and of course the reasons is health grounds. Well, we wish him speedy recovery, but he will be happy if he continues.
Sir, did you have any inkling? Any time through the day today, there were a lot of meetings. The Prime Minister was chairing a few meetings. There was a lot of what they say is orchestrated events today in the House. So do you believe that this was on the card, something that gave you the impression?
No, we had no inclination about any such thing would happen.
Right, right. Thank you, Mr. Savan. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Let's just open this up. I want to bring in Pallavi. I also want to bring in Sanjeev Srivastava. Important points raised by Mr. R. Rajagopalan in his analysis, not ruling out anything. That's very much like him, but also it does prompt questions. You know, I mean, it looks very precipitate. Something must have happened, you know, over the last 2 or 3 hours, because you yourself are saying that, you know, he started the House today. There was, of course, there was a tweet from him this morning, and the relationship, of course, with the opposition has never been good. But something must have really big. I think you're on mute, Pallavi. Yeah. Yes. Can you hear me?
I mean, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, but Rahul, he has been traveling extensively. I mean, he's been going to Rajasthan, Coimbatore, as we were talking about. He's been meeting up with people. And if you just scroll down his archives, he's been meeting up with many senior politicians as well. Mr. Kharge, Arvind Kejriwal, a large number of young people as well. Frankly speaking, I think we are going to do a little bit of disservice to him if we are going to be suggesting that he buckled under any kind of a pressure coming in from the opposition parties. There's no denying the fact that he would be hurt, but, you know, he was an extremely strong person. I mean, we would meet him because, you know, he would love to meet women journalists, and he would often talk about the fact that, you know, he was always, one thing you notice about him, wherever he traveled, any official function he went for, his wife was always by his side. And he would say that, I am nothing without her. And that was something which was very, very clear, and which is why I remember when he had that interaction with large number of women journalists, you know, on stage, he insisted that his wife sits next to him. And every time we wanted to go up and ask him a question and we spoke to him, he would actually feel his wife. So, you know, his source of strength was always his wife. He was extremely strong. I mean, he is extremely strong. He certainly does. I mean, he's a well-weathered politician. I mean, he's also someone who comes in from a judicial background. Remember, 5 years of dealing with a Mamata Banerjee government, trust me, Rahul,
Yes,
it's not really been that easy.
Yeah,
it
true.
couldn't have been that easy. So that man has been toughened by his tenure as a
Right.
governor of West Bengal.
He was
So what he
steeled.
was dealing with, absolutely. So what he was dealing with in Rajya Sabha, I would say, was very small in comparison to that. So
Okay.
I wouldn't do a disservice to him by saying that he buckled under pressure.
Right.
Health, yes, very quickly, Rahul. I have been seeing him. Many of us have been watching him closely. He certainly seemed to be slowing down, and therefore I would certainly go by what he wrote in the letter extensively. I agree with Rajagopalan. You know, that seems to be the health reason,
Okay.
seems to be the one.
Tushar Gupta, your views. We also have Sanjeev Srivastava to come in. Yes.
I mean, it's quite a surprise. And now the next month will be spent guessing India's next vice president and BJP's next president.
Well, is it going to be
But
easy?
yes,
The two questions to you. Let me be very pointed. Number one, choosing a successor. Remember, he represented a certain very important constituency, the farmers' constituency.
Yes.
Ms. Murmu,
Yes.
the tribal constituency. So you have to also look at that in the background. And also and one has to stress this, the relationship right now with the opposition and the treasury benches is at its lowest point. I don't know if in the last 10 years it has been this low. So the opposition is going to, and you know, with the numbers being as they are, it's going to be touch and go.
you know, there's so many speculations at this point. Do you replace him with another farmer from Haryana or from the Rajasthan belt? Do you replace him with the former BJP president who also happens to be the defense minister right now? Do you replace him with a women cabinet minister and sort of send out the message of Nari Shakti with both the president and the vice president being women? So there are so many permutations, and we can just analyze at this point. The prime minister leaves in a day for a foreign visit to Maldives and the United Kingdom. So I don't know if the decision will be taken in the next 24 to 48 hours. So this will be a week-long speculation. Until then, obviously, the deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha, that's Harivansh Narayan Singh, will take over the proceedings. But there's so many permutations that need to be sort of factored in. And with the BJP, it's always very difficult to predict who's really going to be the winner at the end game. So at this point, we can just speculate. But yes, the resignation comes in as a surprise. I would thoroughly miss his banters with both the opposition and the government MPs. I think that is someone that we'll
Well, it's
surely
not
miss.
just banter. Let's be honest. I want to bring in Sanjeev Srivastava, and of course, Aman Sharma remains with us because, Aman, I want you to tie in this entire conversation at the end with a couple of questions that I want to ask of you. But Sanjeev Srivastava, how do you look at this? Look, I mean, this is an individual who's weathered many storms. He's taken on Mamata Banerjee on her fief. Some people say that he gave it as good as he got. At the center, he started a debate on a very sensitive issue that very few politicians would have touched upon, which is judicial impropriety on the back of the Justice Verma scandal. Then, of course, there was this whole run-in over institutionalism and the importance of the opposition to do its due diligence when attacking institutions, also playing a constructive role. There was this talk about the opposition feathering the bed of Naxals, etc., etc. You know what I'm talking about, which eventually resulted in a point break where they even sought to move an impeachment motion against him. So taking all that into account, your reaction, your analysis.
So Rahul, I have known Mr. Dhankar since 1987, 1988, when he was an upcoming in the Rajasthan High Court, and I was the express correspondent here in Rajasthan. And since then, I have seen him, how he has worked his way up, very hardworking. He's perhaps the most intelligent Jats I have seen in the country. He's such a ready wit, such quick thinking on his feet, and he was always very, very ambitious. So this thing about him buckling under some kind of opposition pressure is the first thing which I want to rule out completely. He is somebody who has worked his way up, really wanted to reach where he has, and he wouldn't have given up for some opposition making noise, something, this and that. That's completely just not on the cards. Yeah, and he has seen not just Mamata Banerjee, that's fairly recent. He has been a Congress MLA, then he joined NCP, then he joined the BJP, he was so many times in the running to become a Rajya Sabha MP, and his luck would have it, just look at his good fortune, he became the chairperson of the House, of which an MP he could not become his best efforts in the early 2000s. So he has had a very checkered career, one of the brightest minds, and the thing which I'll repeat, opposition will have nothing to do with it.
Well, they must be. You know, we even spoke to Kalyan Banerjee, Mr. Srivastava. I don't know if you heard that conversation. And he was sort of also saying, no, we would like him to continue, etc., etc.
No, it is not a question of what the opposition may like. Dhankar is the last person who would run away or kind of think of quitting because of opposition.
Right.
So I would not speculate what could be the reason, but the his health has been challenging. He fell ill even during his visit to Himachal Pradesh last month, if you remember, and there was a press release issued. So obviously he must have been very concerned about that, but at the same time, he was constantly on the move. At least twice a week he was coming to Rajasthan only. And he was going all over the country, addressing seminars, taking questions. Even I think yesterday or day before I saw on YouTube, a long interaction of his. I met him about, I think, May end with my family in the Uprashpati Niwas, and he looked fine. And so it is a bit of a shocker. It's very sad that, and it will be very challenging. Like Rajgopalan was saying, the BJP has suddenly now too many issues on his hand.
Yeah,